greatest problems we have in this country is unprofitable or poor utilization of time, which is we lack time skill. We also lack listening skill. You spend more time talking than listening, and when you fail, you begin to wonder how and why you have failed. As we are seated here, some people are out there and they will go back and say, what happened? What were they doing inside? 2, we associate and place high premium on something that has no lucrative value. Not until we imbibe those skills, which are convertible currencies, we have a problem. Let me give you some historical background of Nigeria Business Council. We feel extremely delighted to have been invited in this occasion. An event that is realistically tailored to confront the challenges of our time. And what are these challenges? First, massive, huge unemployment, wasted talents, and youth restlessness, high population growth rate, and antecedent rural-urban migration, and the challenge of inadequate infrastructure and institutional support for sustainable economic development. The theme, therefore, of today's event, which is turning our quantity advantage to productive advantage, could not have come at a better time. That this concept of transformation is being unfolded to suggest that Nigerian policymakers need to be more realistic and practical in its policy directives. That Nigeria needs to look more inward to be able to properly harness its natural endowments, and that Nigeria should now strive to benefit from the advantages offered by its foreign partners on a quid pro quo basis. By quid pro quo, I mean you give me something, I give you back in return. This is why I am delighted to speak on today's topic that I'm giving you, which is leveraging on the bilateral relations for skill acquisition and entrepreneurial development, a look at the People's Republic of China. We have MOUs, which is Memorandum of Understanding, with China Council for the Promotion of International Trade, the Chinese People Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries, the cause of the former Chinese ambassadors to Nigeria that currently live in Beijing, the Department of Foreign Trade and Economic Cooperation in Jiangsu Province Government, the Guangdong Provincial Government, and the Guangha Provincial Government, just to tell you just a few of them. The Nigeria-China Council was represented by a very high, powerful Nigerian delegation during the first ever 21st, 40th anniversary of Chinese diplomatic relations with Nigeria. And I tell you the relationship, why these are important, because there is the necessity for exposing yourself to where information exists, which is a convertible currency to entrepreneurial development. Observers of economic events around the world will remember that although the locomotive for transformational economic advances has been in the highly industrial countries of the United States, England, Germany, France, and Japan, the role of some emerging market economies, especially the countries we call the BRICS, and by BRICS I mean the Brazil, the Russia, India, and China, has now become a phenomenon that deserves to be emulated by Nigeria. And I'll tell you why that emulation is necessary. China especially has systematically gone through a metamorphosis to emerge into a huge market competing and overtaking the United States and its allies as an economic superpower. How did they do that is what we need to emulate here. It may interest you to know the Cuba Road is currently being built by CGC Construction Company. The highways, hydroelectric dams, independent power projects, space satellite projects, railroads, projects, and lately Chinese-made heavy-duty trucks, vehicles, and motorcycles. Do they employ our people? And why not? Is the question I want you to keep to mind. Julius Berger, Salini, Gilmore, do they employ some of our artisans? The answer is no, and it is not their fault, because the skill acquisition certification process has not been there. And they will tell you, we cannot employ because our skills are not satisfied, which has been alluded to in the course of this presentation. Which explains why I salute ITF for what they are doing. Indeed, economic and political relations between Nigeria and China have grown to a level where mutual trust and confidence should now exist. Since 2003, Nigerian trade has experienced a very lean growth. China now tops the scale of the sources of foreign trade, leading in the following categories, and I give you these statistics. China, 10.4% of total Nigerian imports. United States is only 7.3%. United Kingdom is 6.7%. Netherlands is 6%. France is 5.9%. Brazil is 1.3% and Germany 4.2%. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nigeria-China Business Council was established not only to deepen the trade relations between Nigeria and China, but also to serve as a platform for the exchange of technological experiences and advancement between the two countries. The role of China could play in this process was captured back in 2009 by no lesser a person than the then Nigerian First Lady, Hajiature Yar'Adua, when she said, I urge you all to provide training and capacity building for our teeming rural women, for the acquisition of some modern skills to transform and improve their livelihood. The first Nigerian-China Trade and Investment Forum should also explore micro-credit schemes specifically aimed to empowering our women entrepreneurs at the village areas. Ladies, give it up for Mrs. Ture Yar'Adua, a hand of applause because it's important. Although the Nigeria-China Business Council has focused on other areas of its mandate, it has lately seen the need for skill acquisition and entrepreneurship development as a veritable tool to meet its short and long-term global competitiveness and market share. For For example, the orders generated from China for the supply of cassava derivatives, listen to this, it's very important. China placed huge order for cassava derivatives, but it could not be made by Nigerian exporters because of the Nigerian exporters' inability to process the imported items to the required standards and specifications. As I speak, some orders were expected to hold for almost 20 years and standing. And we are unable to meet them because the ones we have sent in was not able to meet the standards. The question on the lips is why? Here again lies the importance of what is unfolding today. Because the Nigerian youth must be trained in the following areas with, again, ITF as a focal point: electronics, auto transmission, auto painting and body shops, auto electronics and computer diagnostic and repair, automobile accessories and production. This program is structured to provide requisite skills in the chosen field for at least 20,000 youths to be drawn from the entire 774 local government. Nobody's going to miss. And I salute ITF for drawing this from the entire 774 local government area. It doesn't matter if you are from Ogbomosho to KB to Abreba to everywhere, you are represented. Isn't that nice? No more marginalization. On completion of the program, the beneficiaries of this skills acquisition training in China will work in tandem with the Nigerian Entrepreneur Forum and Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria to provide them with the training necessary and financial assistance necessary for them to set up the enterprises. These new ventures shall employ and train other unemployed youths. Those that may not be interested in setting up their enterprises as their businesses may be assisted to get employment with the many Chinese companies involved in automobile, agricultural equipment, and production-related industries across Nigeria. And there are many of them. If Chinese people are coming, taking advantage, we must therefore ask them to help train some of our people so that they can work in their factories, in their establishments. It is our estimation that those that will set up their workshops shall be able to absorb at least 10 employees and trainees in local government in our turnaround of 3 months. Billion sales per annum. Where will this come from? From creation of employment and economic activities through distribution auto parts to various other countries, especially in the sub-Saharan African states. This also has added advantage for Nigeria to participate in global automobile industry by bringing to the international market made in Nigerian parts. The emphasis, however, must be on quality products. And the content policies to the implementation of this program in the oil and gas sector, thereby forcing doors to open for the young entrepreneurs to attract supplies and export opportunities. Following these issues raised, the Nigerian Business Council strongly recommends that the Industrial Training Fund, the National Automobile Council, the Small and Medium-Scale Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, UBEC, and the National Economic Reconstruction Fund be properly keyed into a national skill development program. With the establishment relations and the enthusiasm developed by China, we also suggest that Nigeria moves quickly to take advantage of these opportunities. Similarly, we suggest that with ITF serving as the focal agency, and I emphasize this because I know there will be other people upon the success they will want to use up this opposition. a high-level delegation be raised from the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment with us and the Nigerian Nigerian China Business Council, the National Automobile Council, SMIGAN, to visit China to formalize the modalities for the implementation process already embarked by us. It is on this note that we strongly recommend that the Honorable Minister sees the necessity to constitute a ministerial committee comprising all these agencies I have mentioned under ITF that will become the instrumentality through which this program will become a success. On this note, I thank you very much.
I was listening to the gentleman who presented on China, Nigeria-China Council. From my own personal observation, I may be wrong, I find that China, they are more interested in bringing their goods, finished goods, to sell in Nigeria, and most of them are substandard. My brother-in-law has a partnership with a Chinese company. I've been to the factory, they make roof ceiling shades and windows, those plastic windows. They even brought Chinese people to come and work in Nigeria. Our people there are bare laborers. So I want to plead with the Honorable Minister that any trade or investment MOUs that are being signed must categorically state that our people must be employed a certain percentage, and that they must, the Europeans or the developed nations, they must transfer their own technology for the period that they are going to be staying in Nigeria.
I wanted to find out why substandard materials, she said, come from China to Nigeria. Let me put it in perspective. It is Nigerians that go to China and ask for the substandard. Honorable Minister, in 2007, President Obasanjo set up a presidential committee on Nigerian Dairy Development Program, and I was a consultant advisor. We made a presidential visit to Church of AGBAI that were in partnership with us. And what we saw there so much impressed Mr. President that he immediately came back and called Professor Julius Magret and said we should go and obtain those equipment for increase the lactation capacity of our cattle. Because they told us in Sweden that they got, as a matter of fact, that the factories in China. So when we got to China, we saw 3 different categories of those equipment. They said this one is made for United States, this is made for UK, this is going to Stockholm, that the Nigerian people that are saying and asked them to, this is for Nigeria. Make no mistake about it. Not until we realize that it is, we're inflicting not only economic pain on ourselves, but we are reducing the potency of our being by reducing ourselves in so doing. And what was even more painful was the one that was made for Nigeria was even more expensive, even at that substandard level. So what does that call for? There's need for serious, better enforcement by the agency responsible to making sure that the goods that are coming to Nigeria are in compliance. I believe that is the sum. Okay? So, but what the vision the Honorable Minister is saying here, and which I share with you, I want to believe that as part of our partnership with them, when the Nigerians go there for skill acquisition and training, they will not empower them with poor standard intellectual skill. That much you can be sure of.